everyone, thank you so much for joining me. In this video, we're going to be focusing on a couple of brand new things from Bare Minerals. I was so excited to receive these in PR. I really felt like both of them were products that just genuinely interested me. We're talking about a cheek product called Blonzer. That's a combo of blush and bronzer. 3 different shades of that and 15 shades of a new product called Mineralist. It's called a lip gloss balm. It's basically claiming to have all of the benefits of a nourishing lip balm, but that shine and sheer color of a gloss. And I've kind of broken them up into 3 different color families. I'll be trying them all on for you, describing them, sharing my favorites, and all that in this video. So let's start out talking about these cheek colors here. So these are again called Blonzer, blush plus bronzer, okay? They describe it as the rosiness of a blush plus the warmth of a bronzer in one easy step. To me, it's not a concept where I can use these all interchangeably, like, oh, I want this to be bronzer today, I want it to be blush today. They're all, to me, blushes that have a little more of that neutral, warm infusion in them. Now, all of them do have shimmer. You know, I love a good glowy blush. And yeah, they just have like, I totally get what they're saying when they talk about the warmth of a bronzer sort of mixed in. I think it's very spring and summer friendly if you're doing any self-tanning, if your skin's just starting to get a little more color to it. These can look very, very flattering. Let's start out by talking about the softest one. This is called Kiss of Pink. It does have a little sheen to it. It's very gentle. I put this on my cheeks first today so you could really see what that tone looks like going on my skin. It's very visible, isn't it? And you can see that little bit of glow coming through, but the glow is pretty soft and I do like that color. It's very casual, easy, wearable. But in this same look today, I decided to bump up the tone a bit with the shade called Kiss of Rose. Not Kiss from a Rose. We're not talking about baby, but that's what I think of when I see this name. Kiss of Rose. Here's the depth coming in. We can see a little more shimmer in this one. Definitely that bronzer inspired warmth, picking up on a little coppery vibe here. And to pair it with the lighter one today, I put it like a little lower on the cheek. I love the radiance. I mean, overall, I kind of feel like this one's my favorite just because I see the most impact of it. I can wear it deeper, I can wear it lighter, but it's a very, very pretty blush shade. Now this one called Kiss of Copper, let's talk about this. This one in my mind goes the closest to being like a bronzer. If you see the swatch, see how much like kind of oranginess there is in that. And I actually took that, I like lightly dusted it on the forehead. I didn't feel super comfortable in doing so, it just is so warm. But if you're a peachy blush lover, I think you might enjoy this one a lot actually. I didn't feel like I could accurately layer 3 blushes on my cheeks at once today. I didn't think that would actually be super helpful, but we're just talking more of a peachy, warm, orangey tone in that one. If we pop them open and see them all side by side, this is the Kiss of Pink. I think fair to light skin would really love that one. I think darn near anybody could wear the Kiss of Rose. To me, it's the most versatile. It's got enough rosiness in there to give me the blushy satisfaction, but kind of that, like I said, bronzer neutral vibe that makes it different from a lot of things in my collection. And then this is the Kiss of Copper. You're gonna see a lot more of a peachy look coming out on the cheeks with that. So I think it's a cool product. I think if you're really like, yes, I would love to get into some more glowy blushes, one of the first things that always comes to mind for me is the Beauty Bakery Cotton Candy Champagne palette. They do a beautiful texture of glowy blush, multiple tones. That might be an even more cost-effective way to experiment. If you've got it on your mind, like I'd like to get more than one, I want a wardrobe of glowy blushes, but if you were just gonna get one of these, again, I think Kiss of Rose is the best. Now we're gonna talk about these Mineralist lip gloss balms. Irresistibly comfortable, they say. The hybrid vegan formula glides on without any stickiness, clinically shown to deliver up to 50% smoother lips in 1 week. So I think what they're getting at here is, yeah, it's gonna look pretty on the lips, but it's more of like a treatment. Now, 15 different shades. Did there have to be 15 shades in this line? Probably not, because as you're gonna see, I divided them up into color families, like, or intensity families, let's call it that. The lightest intensity ones are very, very sheer, and we probably could have gotten away with just a couple of those, but if they wanted to do a solid 15, I guess, who am I to judge? So here's our lightest family. These are all very soft, sheer, kind of seeing your lips through them type of shades. The medium family, you're gonna see a lot more color translating on the lips, but still that element of sheerness. And I would would say even with the richer tones, there's some sheerness there also. We're not talking 100% opaque glosses, but from all of these, it's a very satisfying level of color for me. So here's the way I feel about the formula. It is super comfortable. It is absolutely not sticky at all. It's kind of odd in that I can like run my tongue over my lips, but I'm not like picking up product into my mouth, if you know what I mean. There's shininess there, but it's not an overly goopy sensation on the lips. Even if it's not sticky, I don't like the feeling that there's a ton of stuff on my lips. The Fenty gloss, that's almost borderline annoying for me because I feel like they've got this big applicator and it dumps a lot on your lips at once, and I don't really love the feeling of having a lot on my lips. I understand that a little thickness or a little tackiness can benefit a product here and there, but over application of a lip product can just have you thinking about it all the time. Hard to forget that it's there. These I most enjoy when I'm sure I'm putting on basically the minimal amount. I don't think you need to dip back in for more, at least when it's pretty new like this. You get an initial amount on this little kind of flat dough foot, you pop it on your lower lip, you flip it over to the back side where you will get some additional product, and you smooth that out on the top lip, kind of mush them together, and I feel like that's the sweet spot in terms of amount of product here. It feels moisturizing and nourishing on the lips, but you don't feel over gooped. Anytime you put on too much gloss, it can just be a little annoying. Now, staying power, they're not gonna wear amazingly long. It depends on your level of eating, drinking, talking. I can't predict what everybody's gonna do in a day, but you're definitely gonna be in a state where if you put this on in the morning, you're for sure gonna wanna be reapplying by noon, if not before. But as the color wears off, as any trace of the product wears away, you still feel really good on your lips after having worn this. Like, I definitely get what they mean about smoother textured lips in a week. It really is doing something kind of treatment-wise on your lips. In fact, this lightest shade I think might become sort of a nighttime thing for me. It doesn't have any color. It's a very legitimately nourishing, healthy feeling formula. So now I'm gonna break away and take you through a bit of a try-on of each of these color families, and then at the end I'll point out some of my top picks. First off, I'm gonna take you through what I would call the light family of shades, and the color called Clarity is basically your clear. If you love this formula, I could see this being kind of like maybe even a nighttime type treatment. Looks like kind of this cloudy pale pink in the tube, but I just can't see any hint of color on the lips with that one. Then we move into Serenity. Don't you love these shade names? This one appears to be like a soft nude in the tube, but again, it's going on the lips. It's barely visible. It's maybe just a little more milky seeming compared to the other one. Then we have a shade that's really like on par with that called Peace, but it's got a little hint of some shimmer in it. Now, once this gets sheared out on the lips, it's very fine. It's not really identifiable, and it just looks like this soft, barely there nude on the lips. Now we're moving into a couple of shades that offer a bit more color. We have Heart, which is a creamy, soft mauve. Not my favorite in the collection by any means, but I'm liking it a little bit more than those first few that just barely showed. And then I would say my favorite in this group of 5 is this color called Ingenuity. It has a little more brown, just a hint more richness, a hint of shimmer as well, and I just feel like it's a bit more coverage on the lips. It smooths things out. It still looks soft, but it offers just a bit more color. Now we have our medium color intensity family. So all of these I think give off more color than the others. There's that element of sheerness, but definitely for me, it's a little more satisfying color. So the first shade I popped on from this color family is Adventure. This shade, kind of hard to wrap my head around. It sort of looks like a bronzer, but put into a lip color. It does have some shimmer. Ultimately, I get it all on my lips and I'm like, okay, it's not so bad, but it's really just not the shade for me in this whole bunch that I find myself gravitating toward and wanting to wear. Next up, we're gonna get into another shimmery shade here that's really beautiful. It's called Trust, and this is that peachy coral. It does have some shimmer. As you look at it, it's like a golden shimmer within a coral gloss, and I think this is very fresh. I enjoy that I can see the color, but it looks, again, very effortless, very easy. Then we're gonna move into a couple of creamy shades here. One is called Vision, and this is kind of like a classic pink. It reminds me of the shade called Heart that I used in the last chunk of these, the most sheer ones, but this one just has a little more color to it, and I really do like that look. But perhaps even more than that, I like this next one called Imagination. This is more of a warm pink. I think it has a bit more intensity, but still just very easy. The kind of color that I could see working with so many different looks. But with the next shade here, the one called Love, you know, you throw around the words my lips but better. This is definitely that idea executed here. This shade has a hint of shimmer in kind of a cool mauve tone. This really does make me think of my natural lip color, but a little bit more even, a little more color added to it, and just obviously shinier. Now our last color family are the richer intensity glosses. These still have an element of sheerness, but the tones are deeper. So this color called Sincerity, it does have some shimmer. I would call this classic Dusty Rose. Absolutely love this shade. This is one of those where just grab for it under any circumstances with with any kind of makeup look going on, and this one will make sense. It gives you just that little bit of depth that I think makes the entire look seem more finished. That's one of my top shades overall. Also, this one called Zen. We're getting into some berry vibes now. I love this one. It's creamy berry, not too dark, not too light. It's just a real sweet spot for me. I'm always gonna kind of gravitate toward this type of shade. Now, this next one, it might even appear to be darker in the tube, this one called Ambition, but it actually is a little more sheer in application. I even did a little side-by-side swatch for you so you can tell what I'm talking about here. It appears to have shimmer, but you pop it on, and for me, I feel like I see a little more shine out of this one. Still some depth, don't get me wrong, but it's just got a little less of that pinky opacity that the one just before it has. Then another one of my favorite shades, it would be like the soft red of the bunch. It's called Wonder. A hint of shimmer. Whenever I say that, keep in mind it's nothing that you can actually feel on the lips, but this shade is beautiful. Absolute life giver to the face. And I'm not worried about it drifting outside or being difficult to wear. It's just a really solid shade and it hangs in there on the lips. Then our deepest color, it's called Enlightenment, kind of a brownish berry type of shade. There is a lot of richness. I have worn it without issue because this was the most concerning to me. I thought, it is so dark, is it just gonna drift around and get sloppy and messy? This formula really does kind of stay within the lines. So I looked hard at all these color families and thought about the way they all looked on my lips, and yeah, there are plenty that I like. The sheerest color family is probably my least favorite, but I thought to myself, what if I could only pick three, like a top three? They do come from my deepest intensity family, with maybe an honorable mention of that My Lips But Better shade called Love. I do really like that. But the shade that I would describe as Dusty Rose, called Sincerity, that is so easy, that is so everyday. I love the berryness. This would be the more pinky berry, not the sheer yet deeper looking one. This is one called Zen. I love that creamy berry, and then the red that I've been wearing throughout the video, like that is easy, effortless red. And that's the thing about this line. There's an effortless vibe to it, okay? We all know what a perfectly lined, opaque, filled in lip looks like. And these, even if you're going for one of these richer shades, like my second to darkest right here, see how there's still an element of sheerness? There's still this feeling of like easy, carefree, summer day kind of vibe. That's what I'm really picking up on here. Even though you could perfect it more, you could start out with nicely lined lips, you could add to the opacity of any one of these shades with a lip liner or a lipstick underneath. But I'm kind of liking this easy, carefree feel. Obviously not mask friendly, okay? You're gonna pop a mask over this, things could get goopy. But any other time, I mean, pop one on and enjoy. I think they're really, really nice. I think you will be super impressed with the comfort. Don't expect a lot color-wise out of any of the lightest looking shades. And trust that with some of the deeper shades, you're not gonna have like this feathering, concerning drifting outside the lips. It really does kind of become a bit more one with the lips. It almost reminds me of the feeling, I know it just popped into my head, the M Cosmetics True Glosses. They gave me this kind of a gel-like feel as well, where it's really becoming even more comfortable the longer it sits on there. So friends, I hope this video answered some questions about this new Bare Minerals collection. Let me know what your favorites are, or if you've tried anything yet, let's discuss in the comments section, and I will see you again very soon. Love you. Bye.